We are back live once again here for another Johnny Torch live broadcast. Oh, yes, we are back. It's been quite a while. We took off last week, a little bit under the weather, I'm afraid. And as always, when I'm doing a broadcast after a sick week, I apologize for the sound of my voice if it, in fact, is not sounding up to standards. But I think it sounds a little bit deeper. That might actually sound pretty good. But we have a Torch News Roundup to bring you today, and I would not let anything prevent me from my appointed rounds, bringing you the news in all its splendid variety here on the Torch News Roundup. News Roundup number 103. So we are still making progress, still trying to get it right. And the 108th live broadcast. Of course, this is not exactly live. It is live on rebroadcast, so to speak, in case I have a serious coughing spasm and don't laugh, it's happened before. So I've had to go back and edit it and this and that. And it's better to just do it on tape for broadcasts like this when there may be sneezing and coughing fits in between news stories. Before we start for the day, let me remind you to take a look at the link in the description. You can find The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, a comic book saga masterpiece created by yours truly. And I'm hard at work at issue number 5. I know I must have been saying that for 4 years now. But thankfully, I made a purchase. I got a decent computer that will actually help me to color and hopefully letter as well. I haven't really given too much thought to the lettering lately, but lately I have been. So it's still going to be quite a ways off, but I think we're going to get some major progress, some headway made in getting issue 5 out. But you can check out a free preview for issue 4, Street of Dreams, as you see on your screen right before you there in living color. And, check out the link in the description below as well for my Twitter page. You can find out all the shenanigans and ongoings in the life of Johnny Torch on my Twitter page. And I'm usually very active there, so to speak, but last few days haven't been feeling too well, so I haven't been too active there either. All right, without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to our first news story. There really wasn't a lot of news, so I don't feel like I'm too far behind here. There's only a handful of subjects here that are really worth talking about, and a couple of them actually broke today, as a matter of fact. So we're not too backlogged here. All right, first off, now this is a guy I've been looking forward to seeing get a sequel. Doctor Strange. We get some news about the Doctor Strange sequel. Will Doctor Strange, in fact, be making another house call? When last we saw him, he disintegrated into thin air because of Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. But as astute viewers are aware, he'll be back. At least 90% of the Marvel Universe will be back. And this is from some British source, so I don't really know exactly how to translate this to US dollars, but apparently Benedict Cumberbatch will receive a massive pay raise to the tune of £7.5 million to reprise his role as Dr. Stephen Strange. That sounds like a lot of money. I don't know how much the pound is worth, to be totally honest with you, but 7.5 million of them, that does sound pretty substantial. The filming is expected to start in the spring and can take up to 6 months. This is all rumor, mind you, so of course, this is not something that you could really hang your hat on unless you hear it from Marvel themselves, but it sounds about right. It's been about, what has it been? Since 2011, right? Is that when the first Doctor Strange came out? So I think that it probably will start being shot in the near future here, but we had to wait for Infinity War and all that stuff, because once Infinity War Part 2, or whatever Avengers 4 is going to be called, wraps up, they are going to be in desperate need of solo films for some of these characters, because, well, supposedly we're not getting another Iron Man sequel or Captain America sequel. I suppose the jury's out on the Thor sequel. I mean, will he get a fourth? It seems like they spent a lot. It seems like Thor Ragnarok spent a long time in reinventing the character, and then Avengers Infinity War took a lot of time sort of regressing the character back to what he is supposed to be. The only thing they didn't do was grow his hair out. but yeah, you know, I don't care because I that's the way I like Thor. I mean, I wanted Thor with the hammer and with two eyes and stuff. I can't fault them for wanting to go back to the default Thor mode. Also, it says that season 5, or I guess if you're in England, what would be called series 5 of Sherlock may not happen because of the commitment that Cumberbatch has to Marvel. So I don't know if that means that the series is canceled or if it's probably just going to be put on the shelf for the foreseeable future until he gets done with his commitments. We have the past quote from Kevin Feige, who did hint at a Doctor Strange sequel in the near future. Kevin Feige said, Doctor Strange, whenever we do another Strange one, which we will do, it will be a number of years from the first Strange, and yet he's a very big part of Avengers Infinity War. So it is just a good problem to have when you have too many beloved characters that people want to see more of, whilst keeping our core belief that we need to keep exploring nuance and keep doing different types of things. All right, so this makes me very happy because, like I said, I really enjoyed the original Doctor Strange more than I probably expected to enjoy it because it had a lot of baggage, let's say, because they were race changing and gender changing a number of characters. But at its core, I think the Doctor Strange origin is one of Stan Lee's last greatest creations that needed to be brought to screen. And they just did a fantastic job with it. I love Benedict Cumberbatch's portrayal. I think he's great. Can't wait to see him get a full movie again to shine. He's, to be honest with you, I think he was the highlight of Infinity War for me. I think he was the best part of that movie. So Doctor Strange 2 is expected to hit cinemas in late 2020. What do you think? You excited about Doctor Strange number 2? Or what will it be called? I have no idea. Doctor Strange Part 2. No, there was some kind of Twitter image that I think Benedict Cumberbatch put out that was supposed to be a hint towards the sequel, which I don't really know any Doctor Strange story arcs or important moments in comic history, so I don't know what the sequel could be about. But the image I believe Benedict Cumberbatch was of him praying, and he said, "Thy will be done. See you in September," or something like that. And that was kind of like cryptic, led a lot of people to wonder what he was talking about. It sounds more biblical in nature than it would Doctor Strange. So I don't know. Has he gotten the role of Jesus or something? I don't know. But I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know that as well in the comments below. But yeah, very excited about Doctor Strange sequel. I was really happy with that film. All right, let us move on now. Let us move along to some more news. This is casting news. Once again, the Doom Patrol series is in the works on DC Universe, and they have cast Robot Man. He's a real robot man. That used to be a comic strip when I was a kid. I remember it was a little yellow and red robot. But this is apparently nothing like that. Brandon Fraser, who of course is best remembered as whatever his character's name was in The Mummy, I forget, but he will be playing Cliff Steele, aka Robot Man, for the live-action Doom Patrol series. Let's see. I don't know anything about the Doom Patrol, so this is news to me. Let me read what his character is from the comics. A former race car driver, Cliff Steele, was in a horrific accident that left his body uninhabitable. Cliff's brain was saved by the mysterious Dr. Niles Calder, and he lives on in a powerful robotic body. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Fraser will provide the voiceover for Robot Man and will appear in flashback scenes as Cliff Steele. Riley Shanahan has also been cast in the role of Robot Man to provide the physical performance of the character on stage in a full-body costume. All right, so he's going to play the voice of Robot Man, and then he's going to play the flashback version of Cliff. But I guess they're realizing it with a costume. It's not going to be a CGI character, and it's probably too expensive. It's an interesting looking visual and an interesting sounding presence. I like to see Brandon Fraser get something. He's laid low for a couple of years. Hasn't done a whole lot lately, but he gets to play a superhero. This is pretty cool. All right. Again, I'm not too familiar with these characters, but let's see. Let's take a look at the rest of the cast list. Robot Man Fraser will be joined by Negative Man, Elasta Woman, played by April Bowlby. We already chronicled that in a couple of weeks ago's episodes. Crazy Jane, played by Diane Guerrero, and led by the mysterious Calder. They are the ultimate hero for the digital age, Cyborg, who, as we also broke the story last week, will be played by Joyven Wade. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but probably getting most of them wrong. Banding together, these rejects find themselves on a mission that will take them to the weirdest and most unexpected corners of the DC universe. Okay. So, yeah, this is shaping up to sound interesting. I think it's all going to depend on how well Titans does. The DC Titans. I had to mute the microphone for a minute there. But I think if Titans is successful, it's intended that they're going to spin off from Titans. So, yeah, depending on how well Titans is received, this will do good. See, I think this is going to be, at least it sounds, slightly more lighthearted in its approach. But maybe I'm wrong because I don't know anything about Doom Patrol. But I mean, I think if they have this be sort of the counterpoint to what's going on in Titans, if it's actually more whimsical, this will probably be more successful than Titans. Interesting to see that they're putting Cyborg on Doom Patrol. I don't know exactly what his place is going to be there. That's an interesting choice. So let me know what you think about Brandon Fraser in Doom Patrol. Last I seen him, I think, was in G.I. Joe. I was just thinking, what was it? G.I. Joe Retaliation. Oh, no, he was in the first one. He wasn't in Retaliation. I kind of felt bad because I thought he would play a good, G.I. Joe leader or something if they ever brought that back. But they've kind of been sitting on the property now after Retaliation. I honestly wasn't that crazy about Retaliation. It was okay. I liked the first one better, to be honest, which a lot of people tend to like the second one better. But the first one had all the characters that I'm familiar with, Scarlet and Duke and, the Baroness and stuff like that. That was a lot more familiar than they just had, they had The Rock, which, The Rock is great, and so is Adrian Palicki. But I don't know, it just didn't feel very G.I. Joe-ish to me. Anyway, that's a subject for another time, I guess. Let us move on, and we will continue on here with, this is some big news, some big, really, really, really big news. It just came out today. It just broke. And I will be happy to be the first to tell you if you are unaware, but there's actually some good news in the Supergirl universe. Oh, yes. We've been taking it on the chin as Supergirl fans, hearing about what this season's going to be about. And trust me, I haven't forgotten any of it. I've got the Supergirl Please Punch a Big Robot campaign in full swing. But apparently, Superman will be making another return appearance to Supergirl this year. And to get this, he's bringing Lois Lane with him. Yes, the babe of the Daily Planet, Lois Lane, will be making her first appearance in the CW Arrowverse. No word yet on casting, but the news just broke. I believe Stephen Amell broke it himself. He was so excited about this because he said that he was looking forward to having Green Arrow meet Superman. So this will be part of the three-part crossover. I believe it's going to be 3 parts. They're not going to cross over with Legends this year. Apparently not Black Lightning either, which I was hoping for, but Apparently not. But Superman will factor into this storyline for the three-parter, and Batwoman, of course, will be introduced in this three-part crossover event. And I believe, gee, I'm not sure, but I think I'm pretty sure Superman is going to be in all 3 episodes of this crossover. Now, I'm looking at the notes here to see if that is in fact the case. I don't know if I can confirm that, but from what I read, I think he's in all 3 parts, but I don't want to really jump the gun there. All right, Supergirl executive producers Jessica Queller and Robert Rovner said on Wednesday, August 22nd, "We couldn't be more excited to introduce Lois Lane to the Arrowverse." I wonder if this means Lucy Lane is going to come back. Because, what was her name? Jenna Dewan? Well, was Jenna Dewan Tate? Of course, they're divorced now. But she was pretty cool as Lucy Lane. I liked her. She was cute. They could have kept that character going, if you ask me. But, again, there was no place for her because she was just a straight heterosexual female on the show. I don't think there was any place for her. But, let me continue on here. This dogged, determined, and brave reporter will make a strong partner to Superman and amazing addition to our universe of DC characters. So, yeah, I'm excited. I hope they get a good actress to play her, of course. That is the most important thing. And there is more news as well. But first, before we continue on with that, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited to see Superman return? Tyler Hoechlin return as the Man of Steel. I always like Tyler's Superman. I think he plays it right. I think he knows how to play it, or at least he's allowed to play Superman the way that Superman is traditionally depicted. Sort of the way that Henry Cavill wants to play him but hasn't been really allowed to yet. The only problem I have with Hoechlin's Superman is, unfortunately, he seems like he's always got like 5 o'clock shadow. You know what I mean? He really never looks like he's just took a shave, you know. I don't know. I don't associate that with Superman very much, and I feel bad because he's got a really good Superman image going there. But if don't you never take a shave? You shouldn't be saying that about Superman. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how his 5 o'clock shadow looks in this upcoming episode. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to see Tyler Hoechlin back. I think he's a great Superman. And hopefully, I know a lot of people were really upset on him getting short shrift, sort of, when he lost to Supergirl in the big fight. And he said that Supergirl was the greatest because he wasn't holding back and everything. A lot of people were upset by that, and I wasn't really overjoyed by it either. But I still think that he can bring something really cool to the show. We got a lot more casting news here, though, so let's get right to it while I still have a voice. Now, we broke the news a couple of weeks ago that Brett Spiner, who played Data in Star Trek The Next Generation, was originally going to play Vice President Baker in Season 4 of Supergirl, and I was excited about that, too, because I said Brent Spiner hasn't really gotten a good role apart from Data. But due to what is being called scheduling conflicts stemming from a family-related situation, Spiner has been forced to back out of the role. So Brett Spiner nixes Supergirl Vice President. And it's probably for the best, because this is probably going to be the most thankless, terrible role. And maybe he just found out what he was in for, and he backed away on his own accord. Well, you know, I've got a nephew that's going to have a bar mitzvah, and I really can't miss it. Well, whatever the excuse was, I hope it was convincing. But they got Bruce Boxleiter, Tron himself. Tron will be replacing Data. So that's a pretty cool find if you're going to say for a replacement. You find Tron. I mean, Bruce Boxleiter is another actor that really hasn't done a whole lot, that he kind of deserved another look in Hollywood, I think. It says here he was from Babylon 5, but of course I never really got into Babylon 5. All those like 90s, early 2000s sci-fi shows kind of all looked alike to me. After like Voyager or whatever it was. All the other ones, maybe even including Voyager, all the ones that kind of look the same. I don't know. Okay, so it says he's also known for appearances in television shows such as Heroes and NCIS, which I don't know. I didn't see very much of Heroes, so that doesn't really impress me a whole lot. But yeah, it's great. We get to see hopefully Bruce Boxleitner getting a little respect. Hopefully this is not going to be the role that I think it's going to be, where he's just going to be playing some kind of evil, misogynistic, you know, terror among terrors, rich white man. You know, I can just see what it's going to be like. If they make this guy an altruistic human being, it's going to be a miracle. For this show, it would be a miracle, nothing short of miraculous. But after seeing the last 2 seasons at least, maybe even 3 seasons, I don't see how they're going to give this guy a good break. But I don't know. Let's see. All right. We also have some news here now. This is something that really surprised me. Well, they already have Miss Tessmacher on the show, and she's a secretary or something. I don't know. What do you think about this? What do you think about when they take an existing character and they put like a completely different spin on it? Do you really want to have that character in if it's not going to be portraying the same kind of character that it was originally supposed to be? Like Miss Tessmacher, she was supposed to be Lex Luthor's girlfriend, and now she's a secretary. It has nothing to do with Lex Luthor. Is that acceptable? I don't know. But we're going to do the same thing here with 2 new characters that are joining the show. We've got Rona Mitra playing Mercy Graves, and Robert Baker as Mercy's enforcer, Otis. Mr. Luthor, yeah, that Otis. I'm sure you remember him from Ned Beatty. Now, this guy on the right, he kind of looks like he could play Otis. They're probably not going to make him some half-wit like Ned Beatty's Otis, but he's supposed to be an enforcer. That doesn't sound to me like he's going to be a bumbling sidekick, but that's what I mean. I don't know. I really could never see. It's like what they did with Non in the first season. Non was sort of like a mindless, well, as they said in the movie, a mindless aberration. But, you know, they made him sort of the main villain. And it's the same thing here, where I don't know if I could ever see Otis being some noteworthy villain. I don't know. And of course, Mercy Graves is the character that was chosen to be sort of the anti-Miss Tessmacher in the animated series, Superman the animated series. She was the chauffeur / bodyguard for Lex Luthor, and I think she turned on him at some point. I can't remember the series too well. I think this happened during Justice League Unlimited or something. But again, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have Mercy Graves without Lex Luthor. All they really need finally at this point is to bring in Lex Luthor, because we've got Lena Luthor, we've got Superman, we've got Lois Lane, we've got Jimmy Olsen, we've had Lucy Lane. I think we haven't had Perry White yet. He's probably the next one, but we pretty much had everybody appear on the show so far. So let's see. Also cast this season is David Ajla as Manchester Black Manchester Black. Nicole Maines as Dreamer, which was the big news that broke from Comic-Con, the transgender superhero Wonder Lamal. Sam Witwer as Agent Liberty, who is going to be sort of the Trump surrogate that we're all going to hate and loathe and despise. April Parker Jones as Colonel Haley. I'm not familiar with that character at all. I'm not sure. And of course, Jesse Rath, who will be season regular as Brainiac 5. So, let me know what you think here in the comments below. October 14th. October 14th. Mark that date on your calendar, when we will see if Supergirl has jumped the shark finally once and for all and will be irredeemable at that point, until such time as they break with this SJW falderall. Please use the hashtag Supergirl, please punch a big robot, and let's see if we can inject some fun, some escapism, some just good old-fashioned enthusiastic entertainment into the show where it belongs. and not the social justice drama crap that we've been getting for the past 2 seasons, and just see if we can get some good old-fashioned fun. That's all I ask for. Supergirl show is to see Supergirl punch a big robot. Let's get it done. All right, so as we move on here now, we are getting to our top stories of the day. Our 2 top stories are in the Star Wars universe. First off, that ObiWan Kenobi movie, that gosh darn ObiWan Kenobi movie. What is it going to take to get an ObiWan Kenobi movie off the ground? This is the one solo movie that I think everybody wants to see. And they gave us Han Solo, and they were talking about Boba Fett, and everybody wants to see Ewan McGregor light up that saber again and traverse the Jundland wastes in search of young Master Skywalker that ran away from home for some reason. This is what we need. This is the movie that Star Wars fans need. Okay, Ewan McGregor recently appeared on an episode of The View to promote his latest flick, Christopher Robin. At one point, the subject of Star Wars came up, and one of the hosts asked, if George Lucas calls you, are you in? Which, of course, makes absolutely no sense because George Lucas has nothing to do with the show anymore. With the series, the franchise. But let's see, this is what Kenobi himself said. Yes, I would totally do it. There's no plans as such to do it as far as I know. Interruption. This is what sent a lot of people off on a panic because depending on who you talk to, the movie started shooting 3 weeks ago. I mean, seriously, how many times have we heard pre-production has started, we're working on the script and this and that, and apparently with, well, spoiler alert, Ray Park having a cameo in Solo, there was at least some thought that they were going to dovetail Darth Maul into the Obi-Wan movie. Let me continue on. I would be happy to do it. I think there must be a good story to tell as they're doing spin-offs. There's likely to be a good Obi-Wan between maybe me and Alec Guinness in that time. Okay. And he also went on to joke, I've answered yes so many times, it looks like I'm sort of touting for work at Disney's tour. So, what do you think about this? It looks like Lucasfilm is playing hardball, if you ask me. They look to me like they're doing the old, all right, you didn't like the games we picked, I'm taking our toys and go home. And they're going to be a big meanie, and they're like, if you like that, then we're not going to do it. We're going to do episode 9, and you're going to see episode 9 because that's the only Star Wars is going to be in town for the next, I don't know, year and a half at least. And you're going to like it. You're going to like it, and you're not going to get any more Star Wars. You're going to go to your room without dinner if you don't. You can only have your green beans, and that's it, and you go home. But in any case, it looks like they're not going to do anything. They're saying that none of these movies are on the table anymore. And a lot of people have taken that to rejoice in the fact that Rian Johnson is not going to do his Star Wars trilogy. We all knew he wasn't going to get it. We all knew he wasn't going to get his own trilogy. It was going to get taken away from him at some point. We all knew that. Come on. Again, thank you for the patience, as I had to sip a little water there, a little H2O. But we all knew Rian Johnson or Ruin Johnson was not going to get his own trilogy. Come on, we all knew it. It was just some PR to get people excited about The Last Jedi, because I think they announced it before The Last Jedi even came out. And then they had to save face back, like, oh yeah, it's still on, it's still on. We all knew it wasn't going to be on for long, at least. After we seen The Last Jedi, we all knew it wasn't going to be on for long. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Lucasfilm just playing hardball? Are they really going to finally give us a Obi-Wan movie? Are they going to wait till reportedly Kathleen Kennedy is going to be moving on out instead of moving on up from Lucasfilm in September? maybe new news will be made then. Maybe McGregor is playing coy and that he knows more of what's going on there, that he's not allowed to say anything until after these moves are made, which is why he's allowed to still keep talking about it when people ask him, are you going to do an Obi-Wan movie? He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Whenever they ask me to do it, I'll do it. There was one conversation he had where he said, or an interview he had where he said that like there was talks, but he couldn't talk about the talks. So, I think that there's probably a little more to this than it just being, well, nothing's on the table anymore. But we'll have to wait and see how things play out with Kathleen Kennedy. She's been in hiding since, I don't know, it's been about a month at least now. She's been in hiding like Obi-Wan, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited about an Obi-Wan solo movie? Hopefully it'll be after a regime change takes place. All right, and finally, our final news of the evening. Star Wars fans are resisting Resistance. The Resistance trailer came out, and it it has the biggest backlash of thumbs downs on any Star Wars property, at least. I'm not sure about any property at all, but at least any Star Wars property. As it stands now, there is roughly 1 million views. 1 million views on the Resistance trailer. 9,812 thumbs ups. 56,146 thumbs downs. As of now, right now, August 22nd, at roughly 5:34 p.m. So this is pretty much getting off on the wrong foot with them. I with fans. I don't know. Is this a harbinger of what we can expect from now on since Solo? When Solo went down, and I still maintain it wasn't a bad film. It wasn't a bad movie at all. It was arguably a film nobody asked for, and it was arguably a film that was the quintessential mediocre film. I mean, but there's nothing wrong with it, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was better than everything else that's come out from Lucasfilm Star Wars. With the possible exception of Rogue One. Rogue One was pretty good as well. But all right, so let's get to this. According to let me see this wiki explanation here says. Resistance, the series starting out a few months before the events of The Force Awakens, following Kazuda Zano, a pilot who was recruited into the Resistance to spy on the growing threat of the First Order. The series is set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Well, if it's set a couple of months before The Force Awakens, I wouldn't exactly say it was set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. That's 30-odd years, you have to remember. So this is the main character, Kazuda. And we're going to have cameos from Oscar Isaac's Poe Dameron, which you also see here. We have, I believe, Captain Phasma is going to be in the series as well, guest starring Gwendolyn Christie, and BB-8 will make his appearance. General Leia is in this, played, of course, by a different actress. And I saw the trailer, and it looks. You talk about the quintessential mediocre production. It looks entirely forgettable. It's just this sort of generic wise guy jock that kind of doesn't really look like he amounts to anything. Gets taken by Poe under his wing to sort of lead another ragtag group. To be honest with you, what this reminded me of Rebels, minus any endearing qualities in the characters. Because this is kind of what Rebels was like. It was like, we're not going to give you any traditional characters like Clone Wars did. We're going to take all the Clone Wars characters away from you and give you new ones, and you're going to like them. And if you don't like them, that's all you're getting, because Clone Wars is gone. So then they gave us a couple of Jedi. They gave us a Mandalorian. They gave us a couple of aliens and a droid. And they were like, Here's your Star Wars. Let's play. Let's just, But they forgot that, the further out you get from the core characters, I've always said Star Wars gets more and more difficult to maintain interest. That's why I don't like, people are always asking for the Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that. I'm not interested in that. I want to see characters that are close to the base, close to home. You know what I mean? And that's why I would rather see a young Han Solo movie than Knights of the Old Republic. That's why I like to see a Boba Fett movie over Knights of the Old Republic. I want to see the characters that I've come to enjoy, and hopefully there's good writing that's going to justify having them used in these productions. But so I don't know. I couldn't tell you really what the trailer was about. Like I said, there's this green alien. There's a guy who looked like from Jamaica. It's kind of trying to teach Kazooie the ropes. Kazuda the ropes, excuse me, and about being a spy. And there's some ships stuff going on. The ships don't look too bad. The thing that got me the most is I didn't really like this animation style. This is back in the Ralph Bashki days. There was something called rotoscoping that went on a lot. And a lot of those Ralph Bashki productions, I don't know if you remember, like Lord of the Rings. He did like the first half of the Lord of the Rings trilogy in animation. And it basically looked like, because it was actors running and jumping with people drawing the animated character on top of them, giving them a very naturalistic look. And that kind of takes me out of it a little bit when they do something like that, because that's what this feels like. It feels like it's just like a rotoscoped cartoon, and they just painted on top of the models for the ships. So the ships look pretty good. I always feel like you can get away with rotoscoping some ships if you got vehicles or ships in a cartoon. If they're CG rendered, that doesn't look too bad. When you CG render a character, it has to really be good. And as you can see, their faces are sort of more 2D animation, but they're still moving like at a 3D rate in a 3D environment. And I don't know, it just doesn't work for me anyway, the animation. Because I'm all for 2D animation. We talked about this back with the very popular She-Ra episode that I did, which I have some comments from the She-Ra video I meant to read, but I'm not going to do it today because, again, under the weather, you all know what it's all about. All right, so yeah, this looks like, I think this is the second wave. This is the second wave of the great Star Wars backlash of 2018. And the backlash first occurred when Solo went down, and they were willing to bite the bullet on that. They were willing to take the loss. They're like, yeah, Ron Howard's going to take one for the team. He's going to try to get it off the ground so that maybe, just maybe, an Oscar-winning director would be able to pull the bacon from the fire, and people would say, yeah, that was pretty good. But the bitterness had already taken root. I mean, what they did to Luke Skywalker and The Last Jedi, it was just complete garbage. Force Awakens, honestly, wasn't much better. If ever a cosmic mulligan were to be brought in, it should be brought in here. Just erase the last 3 years or whatever of Star Wars films. Start over from scratch. I'm happy with keeping Rogue One and Solo in continuity, but definitely get rid of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and let's just start over. That's what I say. As I said before, if they do what they're going to do with Episode 9 and just take some segments of Carrie Fisher's performance and put them in as Princess Leia, just take those segments and rework the entire story and start over from scratch, wave a boatload of money in front of Harrison Ford's face again so that he can actually play Han Solo this time. And Luke Skywalker, I'm sure Mark Hamill would do it to redeem the good name of Luke Skywalker after the abomination that he didn't even play Luke Skywalker. That was Jake Skywalker. But anyway, not to belabor the point, yeah, the Resistance looks like crap. I don't know. I mean, the going excuse is it's for kids. It's for kids. If this is a big hit with kids, bully for you. But the fact is, you really need to appeal to all demographics. you can't just, nor should you try to just get by saying the youngest mentality is the only ones that are going to be able to enjoy this. That's why all great entertainment has always been all ages, because it appeals to everyone. You get a bigger demographic. It just makes sense. You have the kids with the parents watching, and that's the real trick, isn't it? You want to get the whole family watching together and not just have something that's going to be a babysitter that's going to try to keep 5-year-olds entertained for a half hour, and then hopefully, you've got enough viewers to justify continuing on for another season. All right, but let me know what you think about Resistance. It's going to come out October 7th on Disney XD. Oh, I'm sure you all can't wait to see it. And let me know what you think once you have seen it, because I probably won't see it. So if it is any good, let me know. But I won't be holding my breath. Let's put it that way. Okay, so once again, we are at the parting of the ways. Thank you for joining me if you, in fact, have made it this far. And if you haven't, what's wrong with you? What am I doing this just for my good looks? Come on. Give me a couple of views here. I'm happy to say that we're up to 75 subscribers, though, which is very nice, because I said I want to see if I can get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And we still got plenty of time, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Tell your friends, share this video, and see if you can induce them to subscribe as well. Hit that like button. Smash the like button, smash the notification button, smash everything in sight. Just pretend you're the Hulk and Hulk smash. Okay, and hopefully my voice will be stronger and better suited for another video this Saturday, which is our usual schedule, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thinking of doing some more ranking videos, like the Star Trek movies I've been watching. Watching Nemesis tonight. But yeah, I like to talk a little Star Trek while I'm still in the mood for it. And of course, we've got the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Check it out in the link to the description below, where you can find the free preview, 2-page preview, and let me know what you think of it. Until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.